Hey there, welcome to 2025 with Punky Permaculture, and we are kicking things off in a fantabulous manner because I recorded the entire intro to this video in my car without sound. I don't know how that happened, but we are going to keep on trucking. What I am saying here is that I have a small business, a side hustle, where I do wedding flowers, event flowers. I love it so much, and we have a wedding expo coming up. So I'm going to take you guys along with me on a vlog as we make a floral wedding dress, whole wedding dress made out of flowers today. I source most of my flowers from one of three places. Some of them I grow myself, some of them I source from local vendors, local flower farmers in my area, and others I get from the local flower wholesalers that are near me. And they get their florals from all over the place, and you can definitely see the options that are available. My car is packed full of gorgeous, gorgeous goodies from the floral wholesalers. I have this plant that I have to get the anthuriums off of, and then I get to keep the plant, so win-win. Growing flowers, yay. All of that has to happen in like 2 hours because I have an appointment that I really don't want to miss. So we're gonna get moving and see how fast we can do this. So what I am doing here is stripping the leaves from the bottom half, sometimes even 3/4 of the flower. And the reason for doing that is that the number one suspect in getting mold all over your flowers, if your flowers are molding, it's because there's leaves in the water. So getting those bottoms stripped and getting them done ahead of time so that you can focus on the design aspect is one of the things that has to be done for me before we ever do a project of this size. I like to get everything out. You can use different tools. I tend to use just my hands, but there are a lot of roses that have a lot of thorns, and that can be pretty painful to do. So I'm grabbing a thorny one to show you exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm using a rose stripper to just gently strip the bottom of the rose. There it is. It's very handy tool to use if you don't feel like using your callous little fingers like I do. Once you have all your flowers prepared, you can put them into 5-gallon buckets. I use square floral buckets, but you can use anything. And this is the structure that we're starting with. This is a foam dress form for display, and we used like this hog wire paneling type thing that we had laying around. Typically I would use chicken wire for this sort of thing because it holds the floral foam better, but we used the wire that we had available and we built floral foam into it. We pressed floral foam and wired some of that in there in just a sort of general dress shape. It doesn't have to be pretty, you're going to cover it up anyway. Now I'm taking some truly lovely curly willow, which is the type of branches that you see here, and I'm just kind of playing with it to see what I want this structure and shape at the top to be. This is where you can really let your creativity run wild and do what you want to do. I'm biased towards curly willow because I had it at my own wedding. And all I'm doing here is adding greens to cover the structure of the dress. So we're using leather leaf here. You can really use any greens, though some are better than others. I like leather leaf for this because it's both affordable and it covers really well. It has a lot of coverage that's provided by these wide, broad leaves. It also gets beautiful and shiny, and it's just a really nice base if you're going to be doing any large structures like this. And there she is with the skirt all greened up. We're getting a start to what this top is going to look like. We kind of have an idea of where we're going with that. And the front is getting greened. I'll add a bit more on the sides to fill it out a little bit. And now we have to do the exact same thing on the back. Fun fact, in floristry, we call this covering your butt. Not just because it's on the back of a dress. Anytime there's foam showing in any arrangement, we always say cover your butt. So make sure your butt is covered and that no floral foam or wire or structure of any kind is showing underneath all of those leaves, because nothing ruins the illusion faster than a big old chunk of floral foam showing from a beautiful arrangement. Okay, so we're just over an hour down. This is what we're working with. So she's mostly greened on the bottom. We used leather leaf here. I'll flip. We used our leather leaf down here. We're kind of starting to sculpt the top, figure out what that looks like. The design is based off of vibes, so we will see what she turns into. Cut anthuriums, which is this beautiful tropical flower in this white color, can be difficult to source depending on the time of year, but don't underestimate the power of plants. I just got a plant that's an anthurium, and I have to cannibalize it in order to have the cut flowers, but that's okay, because I can just cut it off, use it for my project for today, and then I can have the plant in perpetuity in the future. So I like using plants where I can. Her a moss top because I want her to look like she was birthed from the forest, and I'm just using straight pins to pin the moss into my dress form. I have a foam dress form for displays, so you can do that. You can't do that with all of them, but for this one it works. gorgeous, gorgeous tropicals. I have some beautiful purple tulips. I have roses. I have all sorts of fun things. So we'll just see where she ends up. Welcome to water tubes. Yes, you might end up with a little bit of water on you. Story of my life. Water tubes are awesome if you are creating an arrangement where you don't want to have a whole water reservoir visible, but you need the flower to have a little bit more lasting power and you want it to be in the water for a little bit longer. So I'll demonstrate with this tulip, and you're not even restricted to what stems will fit in the existing water tube. You can just snip a little line on either side of the tube, and then your stem fits inside it. You fill it up with water, and then the flower has a little bit to drink from, and I promise you that they will last quite a bit longer. Voila! And then we get to just have a good time. We have multiple different types of roses here. We have Playa Blancas, which are the white ones. We have this beautiful lavender rose as well. We have these bright lime green mums. We have line flower in the form of white snapdragons, and some gorgeous, gorgeous heather. This heather is so pretty. I think I'm going to plant some in my food forest, actually. I'm definitely going to plant some because I enjoyed working with it so much. But I'm creating this sort of line along the side of the dress, both because I don't want it to be so overwhelming that you can't take in the beauty of the flowers when you have them in every single area, and also because having them in this one specific area, kind of trailing in this line down the dress, will make it so much more easier to transport. We don't have a box truck to stand this up in, so it's going to have to lay down when we transport it, and so by keeping the flowers into this sort of swooping area, it means that it can lay on the back without fear of smashing the flowers down. And she's done. I hope you had as good of a time watching as I did making it, but this is her at the expo, and I think it looks really good. It transported really well, and we're really happy with the final product. Look at all these gorgeous flowers: heather, tulips, cymbidium orchids, roses, waxflower, all these beautiful things. And the last flower tip of the video: if you are working with tulips, you may have noticed that they like to grow overnight. So they'll be a little longer in the morning. Even if you've cut them, they'll be a little longer than they were before. So they'll continue to grow if you just take a straight pin, stick it through the stem, just beneath the head of the flower, stick it through, pull it out. That little hole in the stem will help it not grow so much overnight, and they'll stay in their assigned seat where you've put them for a little bit longer. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, I do hope that you'll like and subscribe and hang out with us more. And here's to making beautiful things. And here's to you manifesting magic in your own life.